Welcome all. You are listening to the MLTI podcast, Teaching with Tech.
We are your hosts, the MLTI Ambassador Team at the Maine Department of Education.
We are here to support Maine educators by building a network focused on authentic voices, experiences, and technology integration.
Hello and welcome to the MLTI podcast, Teaching with Tech. My name is Tracy Williamson, and I am a second-year ambassador with the MLTI team here at the Maine Department of Education. I'm filling in for our usual host, Joshua Schmidt. This month, we've returned to the topic of artificial intelligence and its role in the classroom. In our last episode, we talked about keeping the human element in AI. And in this episode, we'll hear from the entire ambassador team on tools we've found useful in our professional and personal lives, as well as our thoughts on AI in general, with some advice for anyone who's just starting out on their AI journey. Our host, Joshua Schmidt, also met with the technology director from South Portland Schools and president of METDA, the Maine Educational Technology Directors Association, Andy Wallace, and Mike Arsenault, the technology director for Yarmouth Schools and president of ACTEM, the Association of Computer Technology Educators of Maine, to hear about the upcoming Elevation AI Summit happening on January 13th. If you're an educator in Maine who's wondering how the MLTI or Learning Through Technology teams can support you or your school, especially around AI guidance and integration, please contact us at doe-ltt@maine.gov.
So the current tool I'm most excited about is AudioPen. It's an AI-powered voice-to-text app that you can use on your computer or your phone, and it records word for word what you're saying. But when you ask it to transcribe what you said, it organizes your thoughts and takes out pauses and the filler words that you use and gives you a more presentable option. Then you can edit that as you see fit.
So one of the tools that I'm super excited about is Magic School. So that's like the can do anything for a teacher almost type of scenario. But one cool problem solving thing I actually had in my home life is that my daughter needed to turn her research paper into a presentation of that research. And so we were able to plug it in, have it create a slideshow with the same theme, and then we were able to go back from there and just edit it.
I am currently using the AI features within Canva as I help to create content for upcoming professional development for educators. I really enjoy the text-to-image feature within Canva. It helps to personalize each presentation and it creates high-quality imagery. I am also using Magic School AI. I find that this tool is a good starting point for educators that are new to AI. It has many avenues to pursue that are all related to education, and it makes teacher work more efficient.
Google Bard, Perplexity, and Pi are AI tools that enhance creativity and improve skills or tasks. A few others that I am using are Copyscape and Mendeley for the student research process and the ethical use of information. On the art front, I'm using DALL-E or DALL-E 2 to create images and art from my descriptions. I'm using Adobe Firefly and also the AI features of Canva.
The AI tools that I have been learning the most about recently are tools that are helpful for people who are trying to edit audio. I've been really interested in tools like vocalremover.org or Descript's Studio Sound because they help me to restore historical audio or audio that has personal significance to the person who's doing it. And I really enjoy using these tools because they're most effective when done in collaboration with a person rather than just dumping the audio into the program and the program does all of the work for you.
One of the tools that I've found myself using a lot lately is ChatGPT. I am using it as a creative thought partner, essentially, like to generate ideas to choose from, or as a jumping off point for presentation titles, session descriptions, to summarize text to make it more concise, or grab the basic idea of an article. I actually used it for Christmas gift ideas, and it's really started to become a tool that I go to regularly. I have it bookmarked right next to Google, and I've actually found myself going to ChatGPT for things that I used to go to Google for because I get results quicker and more concisely, and ChatGPT sifts through all those search results for me.
I'm currently using Generative Fill, the AI feature of Adobe Photoshop. Generative Fill in Adobe Photoshop is an AI-powered tool that can be used to solve various problems in image editing, such as generating object and background, expanding images and remove objects. This AI feature is particularly useful for digital art, web design, or graphic design work. As a high school computer teacher, I'm thinking of using it in my web development and web animation courses. With this feature, I can help my students explore different design concepts and new creative possibilities and add unique elements to their project to achieve their goals more quickly and efficiently.
I am intrigued by every aspect of AI. The ability to generate art, text, and music is as amazing as it is entertaining. But now I'd like to explore what AI can do for voice. In particular, the ability to resurrect the voice of a loved one. My father died before he could meet my family. I wonder what it would be like to create a message for them in his voice. On the same topic, I'm very interested to learn how AI can clean up very old audio recordings of family members performing songs decades before the first computers were built.
So my answer isn't so much a particular AI tool, but my attitude towards AI and the way I'm trying to approach it. I certainly, like many people, was incredibly overwhelmed and felt mired in the details and in the enormous number of choices. And so my entry points have been fun ones and ones where I can just kind of play around and see what happens. So whether that's in Canva and those tools, or seeing what I can get ChatGPT to respond with that's either helpful or not helpful at all of that's part of my learning curve, but really more part of my developing attitude towards it, that it presents so much possibility for us. And I just need to figure out where I feel comfortable and find the entry points that I can give other people that they might feel comfortable. So as you explore this, that's the place I'd start. Something that feels fun, something that feels exciting, and not from the place of concern or worry about what's going to happen, but from what might happen that could be incredibly cool.
Right now, as far as excited to learn, I'm excited to learn all of it. But more so, I'm excited to see the change in the feeling around AI. So, at the beginning last year, November, and probably well into the end of the year last year, there was a lot of fear. And as people learn more information and are exploring this and seeing it as a tool, it's really becoming more of excitement and the wanting to use it.
I am here with Mike and Andy to take some time to talk about the upcoming Elevation Summit that will be happening in January. Before we dive too far in, can you each take a moment to introduce yourselves, what school system you work at, and the professional organizations you're representing?
Sure. I'm Mike Arsenault. I am the technology director for the Yarmouth School Department. I also am the current president of ACTEM.
I'm Andy Wallace. I'm the technology director for the South Portland Schools, and I am the president of METDA, which is the Maine Educational Technology Directors Association.
I really appreciate you both taking some time with us today to talk about the Elevation Summit, which is going to be a really exciting event. But I would just love to hear from each of you. Talk to us a little bit about what the Elevation Summit is.
The Elevation Summit is taking place at South Portland High School on January 13th. And it's got an all-star lineup of presenters from local presenters to national presenters. It's going to feature Amanda Fox and her book, The AI Classroom. Amanda's going to be giving our keynote, but she's going to be then supported by our featured speakers, Kern Kelly here from Maine, as well as Carl Hooker. Many people here in Maine know of Carl from his presentations at the ACTEM conference. His keynote on AI last fall was phenomenal. Jenny Long is going to be coming in from Magic School, and Matt Joseph from X Factor EDU. And so they'll be providing some breakout sessions. They'll be able to be part of panels. But the day is going to try to focus on how educators here in Maine can relate to AI and how we're going to be adapting to it. So we also will have hands-on opportunities in play spaces and end up with solving problems of practice in our schools. Probably, I think the thing I'm happiest about this is that it's not just going to be a one-day event. People who are participants in this event can follow up with a book study with Amanda Fox, and we're really happy to have a partnership with the Maine DOE and the MLTI Ambassadors to support that book study.
So I think something that's really interesting about an event like this is the timing and why that timing is important. So why do you feel like now is the right time for an AI-focused event like this?
This week marks the 1-year anniversary of ChatGPT going public, if my memory serves well. And I think we all sort of remember where we were when we heard this cry for like, turn this thing off, or what can we do? This is going to like ruin education. Ever since that time, I think we've all been cognizant of, is this a trend? Is this something that's gonna last a long time? Is this really gonna unravel how we teach and learn? And right around ISTE, I think is when we started saying, you know what, we should put something together to tackle this problem. The start of the school felt a little too early. Next year, in my mind, will be the first full year where AI is part of how we teach and how we learn. And so we felt like right around January, after the break, people are going to come back invigorated. It's the time to really look at tools that were pretty nascent and not well fleshed out, and solutions. And we've had a little time to experiment and see what's worked, what's not worked. And bringing people together right after the break felt like the perfect time to get ready for next year in earnest. So I think we're hitting it right around the right time. We're starting to see other events pop up throughout the spring and the late winter. So we're kind of early on the schedule, and we're excited to be there and work with people on that day who really want to see how AI can either influence change or transform education in our schools as we know it.
Yeah, and to add to that, I really think that, in my career, I've never seen anything like I've been through the Web 2.0 movement, and now seeing the change that AI is going to create in the educational landscape it's a seismic shift. And it's really going to change how we teach and, more importantly, how we assess students' learning. I think that many of our districts in Maine are starting to grapple with some of the issues that come with AI. And so it'd be helpful to have an event like this to kind of get us moving in a similar direction and get our minds together, because we all know that we learn best when we learn together.
So I'm thinking about people who go to this event, or people who are maybe thinking about going to this event. Is this going to be something that's a good fit for me? What are you hoping your audience leaves the event with? What ideas or strategies do you think that they will be able to take back to their schools and implement?
We're trying to set this event up so it will take anyone from where they are in their AI journey. And so right in session one, we have Kern Kelly doing a session for people who maybe are coming to this and they've never even used ChatGPT or Google Bard or Bing or any of the other tools that are really mainstream at this point. And so people can come and learn about AI, but then also interact with it. And that's the part that I'm excited about, is to see the playground space that we do with this and give people an opportunity to really play with the tools and not just hear about it. So it's going to be a good combination of learning about some of the tools and how they can be leveraged in teacher work, because let's face it, a lot of the tools are really focusing on making teachers' work more efficient. And so they can spend their time on more valuable pieces of working with their students and supporting them through their learning. And so the hope is that they'll come back and go to their schools with the tools and the learning to move forward and to start looking at what kind of policies do we need? What kind of communication do we need to do with our students so that they understand our expectations of their use of AI, but also our teachers need to understand what our expectations are of the use of AI, because there's a lot of things that we need to be careful about right now. And we don't want people to be afraid of AI. We want people to embrace it, but we want them to use it and use it intelligently.
Yeah, that's a good point. And sort of why is this a summit rather than a conference? So it's deliberately a summit, and we're deliberately limiting the amount of people that can come to it. And it's also on a Saturday in Portland, Maine, in the middle of winter. So we're hoping to get people that really want to dive deep into this topic. And the whole day has a design in mind, meaning you start with a keynote, you inspire, you get people really excited about something. Then you focus on some of the hows. Some of the earlier sessions will be sort of basic how-tos and things of that nature. Then you get people physically interacting with the tools in the playground space. And the last part, after you're well fed, the last part is actually doing some things, right? So I'm not going to say you're going to leave there with a full suite, curricular suite, or all your policies and your practices completely defined. But there is a goal at the end of us actually working together. So in a large space, sort of coalescing around tables and topics. But if we do this right, you should be able to send a small team of people or make connections with other people and leave with at least some really great ideas, if not a few artifacts that you might be able to put right into place in your school district. So it's going to be a little bit of a working day, but it's also going to be a fun day and an inspirational day, we hope. So that's kind of the goal of the summit.
One of the things that makes me most excited about the event is it really feels like it's purposefully structured from the beginning to the end. And I just love that progression of learning, because you can imagine people through this event, kind of that evolution over time that they're making. I think the last thing we'd like to talk about a little bit is if people are looking to join the summit, what is the best way for them to do that? Maybe you can include a little bit information about, the pricing, other things like that with this piece as well.
So they can visit actem.org, and they're right on the homepage. You'll see a link to register for the Elevation Summit. And the pricing for the day is $150 if you're an ACTEM or METDA member, $180 if you're not. And the registration fee covers all of your food. So we're going to have breakfast in the morning. We'll have lunch. We also have an after the event social. It's it's optional piece. After a day of learning on a Saturday, we wanted to have a little fun too. But it also covers your copy of the AI Classroom by Amanda Fox and entry into the private book study that we'll be having after the event. And so it's a really good value for getting your AI journey going.
Yeah, and if you want to get a closer look at some of the sessions, you could either go to actem.org or you could go to www.meta.org/AI Summit, and you'll get the flyers and you'll get information on how to register, and you'll get some of the sessions. We're still adding sessions. We got a pretty solid schedule right now, but we hope to add a few sessions based on our final tally. And I would say by the time you get this out in the public, we're going to be close to full, but we still want people to come, and we've got a little bit of flexibility. But please don't wait. We'd love to know how many people to expect. I think it's going to be a really, really great day, and really looking forward to meeting new people and delving deeper on this.
And it's an exciting event for us because this is the first event that ACTEM and METDA have partnered on. And we felt, it's really definitely started from conversations that Andy and I had. And Andy came up with this. He's like, we should do something like this. I'm like, this is a brilliant idea. We should do this, and it really is one of those events that just kind of naturally came together, and it's really coming together to be just an amazing event. It'll rival any other AI event anywhere in the country.
Well, I greatly appreciate both of your time talking to us a little bit more about the Elevation event happening in January at South Portland High School. Like they said, if you're interested, please go to actem.org, take a look and see if it's a good fit for you. Andy, Mike, thank you both so much and have a fantastic rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for having us, and thank you for our partnership with the Maine DOE.
The Elevation Summit sounds like a really exciting, not to be missed event with some nationally recognized experts, and our very own MLTI Ambassador, Nicole K-Rod, and former MLTI Ambassador, Kate Meyer, will be presenting as well. Again, head to actem.org, that's ACTEM.org, to sign up. As Mike and Andy mentioned, it doesn't matter where you are on your AI journey as long as you're on it. We here on the MLTI team have a wide range of thoughts on AI, from trepidation to excitement. As educators, we don't have to be 100% pro AI, but we do need to be 100% pro AI education, not only to learn for ourselves, but to teach our students how to be effective and safe users of AI tools.
The concern I hear most from educators comes from a lack of understanding around what AI can do for them. Many have heard the concerns shared via social media or broadcast news, but haven't seen it for themselves. Often educators are surprised and delighted to see how AI can help them become more efficient in completing routine tasks, saving their valuable time for planning that can truly lead to an increase in student achievement and engagement.
As educators, we want to ensure that AI tools and resources are accessible to all students and educators. We need to consider the ethical applications of using AI in classrooms and discuss openly with students the ethical use of AI and the issues related to bias, fairness, and transparency.
I think the largest obstacle concerning AI for me is my own apprehension. I see AI as analogous to the carnivorous alien plant from Little Shop of Horrors. In the beginning, it is a novelty. It amazes onlookers, and it benefits the florist as it brings in new customers and increases revenue. Over time, however, the plant grows into something unpredictable. By the time the florist realizes that maintaining this plant requires crossing an ethical line, it has grown into something very dangerous and uncontrollable. I want to enjoy the ride of AI and see where it goes, but it seems that we're in a vehicle designed for speed, and no one has installed any brakes.
One of the concerns that I hear the most about with artificial intelligence, and something I've thought a lot about myself, is the balance between understanding the technology ourselves, but also preparing our students for a world that will have that technology in it regardless. I think about schools that are being really cautious and careful around incorporating artificial intelligence into their curriculum, which is inherently a good thing. But them being careful and cautious doesn't change how much exposure those students are getting outside of a classroom environment. I think about high school seniors who are going to be entering a workforce that demands they understand and can utilize artificial intelligence tools to their fullest capacity for those students to be able to reach their goals.
One of the concerns I have, and I guess also some advice about AI, is just to think about when it's appropriate to use AI and when it's not. I took a class this summer and the instructor was using AI to give feedback, and I really did not like that feeling of getting feedback from a bot instead of my actual human instructor who I really wanted to hear from. I just dismissed the AI feedback immediately and felt a little lost until I had the opportunity to meet on a video call with the instructor to get that personal feedback directly from her. So I think teachers and administrators need to keep that in mind when using AI tools, either for giving student feedback or communicating with colleagues. We want to continue to build personal relationships and strengthen our human, social, and emotional connections, and not let AI hinder that, even though it may be a big time saver.
My advice to someone who has concerns about widespread AI use is to start small or with something fun. Image generation can produce some hilarious results. Next, find a task that you really don't like doing. See if there's a way that AI can help eliminate or reduce the amount of time that you have to spend on that task that you despise. Remember, Don't use AI for the sake of using AI. AI is a tool, and use it where it can be helpful.
I think it's best to start small when thinking about incorporating AI into something in your classroom or just into your daily lives. It has been there for a while, you just might not be aware of it. So think of some little task and find a tool that can help you do it better. Maybe it's a quiz generator, or maybe there's an app like Hello History that lets you have conversations with historical figures. These are all little things you can do with AI that can enhance your teaching and make things easier for you.
My advice to somebody who's starting out with AI use, try something personal. So use some of the tools for your own personal use, such as journaling or creating a Christmas list for someone that's difficult to buy for. Once you see how AI works in your personal life, then bring it into your professional life.
Take the time to learn about AI, such as how AI works and what are its capabilities and limitations. Also, to engage in dialogue. Actively participate in discussions about AI ethics, privacy, and security by attending webinars, having conversations with experts and peers, etc., to gain more valuable insights and perspective. Last but not the least, to stay informed. Keep up with the latest development in AI regulations, ethics, and best practices. Stay informed can help you make informed decisions and contribute to the reasonable use of AI.
So the advice that I have for someone who is concerned about AI is to use it. I think the more that you use it, the more that you play around with it, the more that you realize it really is a tool. And then in turn, if we can do that with students, is really teach them how to use it and view it as a tool, then it's going to be fine.
That all gives me a lot to think about, from Audrey 2 in Little Shop of Horrors to an exciting future of AI integration. Again, if you attend the Elevation Summit, you will get a complimentary copy of the book, The AI Classroom. It can also be a part of the book study that will be co-facilitated by Amanda Fox and the MLTI Ambassadors. We also wanted to remind people about signups for this year's MLTI student conferences. We will be hosting 2 student conferences again this year, one virtual and one in person. The virtual conference will be on March 7th, and the in-person conference will be on May 23rd. You can go to our website, linked in the show notes, or contact the team at doe-ltt@maine.gov. Thank you to everyone who joined me in today's episode. Andrew Wallace, Mike Arsenault, Joshua Schmidt, and the entire MLTI Ambassador team, most of whom have been without power and internet this week as the state recovers from the recent storm. We hope you are all staying safe and finding a place to stay warm. In the spirit of our regular host, I'm going to close today's episode with a question. How does an AI apologize? It says, "I'm sorry if I've caused any ramifications." Class dismissed.